suppose in the 60s I was best known, or still am, or am now best known for managing Bob Dylan for a couple of months. My life in the 60s was divided sort of equally between time that I spent in the folk music world and time that I spent in the world of social justice. And there was a relationship between them, or I felt there was. In the folk music world, I loved the music, I loved the stories, I especially loved the blues. I wound up managing several folk singers, including Dave Van Ronk, Maggie and Terri Roach, the Holy Modal Rounders, and Bob for several months shortly after he hit New York. It was a time when, in both the folk music world and what I now call the social justice world, we were trying to make change. We were trying to move, and to some extent I think we did, help move society from a very quiescent, slightly boring period, although economically it was fairly stimulated, to one in which there was more equality, there was a better quality of life, and just personally, we had a wonderful time. When I stopped managing musicians, it was because the folk music scene had changed tremendously. After all, it wasn't my world anymore, so I changed. I left, but when I left, I looked for something where I would be carrying on attention to some of the kinds of issues that I was paying attention, that I was immersed in the 60s. In the 1990s, I became director of a small not-for-profit organization that worked, and still works, incidentally, with pregnant and parenting women in Orange, Sullivan, and Ulster counties. And over the years, I became concerned with what was happening to the air and the water that these women and their unborn babies were ingesting. And rather early in the game, I started bringing speakers into conferences to try and give us some idea of what were the problems, were there problems, what were the problems. And it was the very, very beginning of anybody paying any attention to that issue. It was really even hard to find researchers who were concerned with it. And that led to my joining something called the Rockland Water Coalition, which was concerned, and still is, with water in Rockland County. The West Branch Conservation Association was first organized in the 1940s by people who wanted to protect the western shore, the western of the Hackensack River system. And it was incorporated in the 1970s. It's crucial that the work goes on. If it doesn't, if nobody picks up the torch, if nobody continues environmental work, it's all going to get shot.